This video is brought to you by Greater Commons. Greater learning, greater opportunities, greater life. Visit us at greatercommons.com.
So I got a question. When would you use handle versus handlefunc from the NetHTTP package? You're doing stuff with a Go programming language, doing web stuff. What's handle versus handlefunc? And I thought I covered this in the course, but maybe I didn't cover it in enough detail, so here's just a supplemental little insight into handle versus handlefunc. And I've got a Golang web dev course, so if you go to Greater Commons, greatercommons.com, and this is a teaching platform which we're going to be launching soon, and the course will be on there. You could sign up to get free access to your first course, just if we're still offering that promotion. That's going to be up soon. Just put your email in, you'll get free access to your first course. And if we're not running yet, you could find my course on Udemy. Just Google Udemy Todd McLeod. But try Greater Commons first, because we're going to try to build it where we could offer courses to people at a really cost-effective rate. But if it's not up yet, if Greater Commons isn't up yet, try Udemy Todd McLeod. Cool. So you can find the Golang web dev course there. And there's resources for that course. So the resources for the course, you could get to all the resources there, including this course outline, right, where I talk about the NetHTTP package and handlers. So let's talk about it. So godoc.org, right, we could go to the NetHTTP package. This is from the standard library. And godoc.org has package documentation from the standard library and third-party packages at godoc.org. Golang.org only has documentation from the standard library. But if we go to the NetHTTP package documentation and then just search for handle, right? I've searched for handle. We're going to get a lot of stuff lighten up. And understanding handler, type handler is the entry point to understanding the NetHTTP package. So type handler is an interface, and it has this method. And what an interface says is, hey baby, if you've got these methods, then you're my type. So that's what an interface says. So any other type that has this method, right, is implementing the handler interface and is also type handler. And that allows polymorphism. And so, you know, we could say handlers are asked for somewhere. And if your type implements the handler interface, you could pass it in as a handler. And so here we have like handle off of servmux, and handle asks for a handler, right? Handle asks for a handler. And so, you know, we could use handle and pass in a handler. And so let's take a look at that. So I'm just going to launch WebStorm, which I don't have running. Cool. And so here's the Golang web dev code pathway repository, and you could find that code pathway at github.com goes to 11 Golang web dev. Right. So that's the URL to finding this code pathway right there. Whoa. I don't know if you could see that. Maybe I'm in the way. Maybe that's better. Right about there. There you go. That's where you come. And we're going to go into 00 temp, because that's just a folder I have for when I want to do examples like this, which weren't built into the course. And so inside there, I've got Spring 17. I'm just going to create a new folder in there and right-click it and call it directory 03 handle handler. We'll make it really long. Handlefunc. And then inside there, we'll create our first example. Let's do it 01. And now we're going to create a little application, a little web app. So new Go file. And we'll call this main. My computer's draggy. And main. And main. And then I'm going to do HTTP listen. Listen, if I could type, and serve. Computer's really running slow. Let me see if I could speed it up. Hold on. Listen and serve. Just waiting for code completion to catch up with me. It's WebStorm is doing all this indexing. I'm going to wait till that's done. All right, so hopefully it's working quicker now. And we're going to pass in listen and serve wants a port to listen on, TCP port, and then it also wants a handler. And if we look at that, click on it, listen and serve asks for a string, which is the address to listen on, and a handler. So you can start to see the importance of the handler interface. So the handler we're going to give it is nil. And if you give listen and serve nil, listen and serve always returns non-nil, but up here, if you give it nil, it uses the default serve mux. And in that course, I talk all about a serve mux, which is just a server. They also call it a multiplexer, a serve mux, mux. It's just a server, okay? And so there we're using the default serve mux, which means that we can use just the HTTP handle, okay? And there's HTTP handle, and that's going to take a route and then some handler, and we'll call our handler something. I don't know what we'll call it yet. I'm going to come up here and create a type. My type is going to be hot dog, and it'll be a int. Why not? Just keep it simple. And then I'm going to attach to hot dog, so func, and anything of type hot dog, will have serve HTTP. Let me just make sure I've got that verbiage right. Takes a handler, and handler is serve HTTP, and it needs a response writer and a request, right? So it'll have response writer, and so this will take in a response writer and a request. And it's a pointer to a request. Pointer to a request. So pointer to an HTTP request. And then my curly braces, and I could just do something here like IO write string. Pass in the writer and hello from hot dog or whatever. And now I need to create foo, and foo will be var foo hot dog is equal, var foo hot dog, that's all I need to do, var foo hot dog. How do you like that? IO write string is not being liked. Write string, there we go. How do you like that? So let's see what happens. And into 00 temp, and into 46, and into 03 and 01, go run main. So that's running. Now I could go look on that port 8080, localhost 8080, and it's booting up. Hello from hot dogger. So trip out on that. But that is like using handle, okay? And to do that, I had to pass in a handler, a value of type handler. I have a value of type hot dog. But since hot dog also has the serve HTTP method attached to it, it is implicitly implementing the handler interface. So foo, the value foo is not only of type hot dog, it is also of type handler. And handle wants a handler. Handle wants a handler. So that's handle. There's an easier way to do this, and I'm going to make this version 2. So we'll call this one handle, and the next one we'll call handle func. Cool. So the easier way to do this is we are going to do, if we use handlefunc, HTTP handlefunc, what does handlefunc want? Handlefunc wants a pattern and a func with this signature. Okay? So I can just copy that. And they call this, they assign it to a variable called handler, which I think is a little confusing because now you're going to get handler, handler, handler confused. I would have called that something else, but who am I? All right. So now I'm going to create a new func, and it's going to have that signature. It's going to be called foo. So func foo, and it's going to have a response writer, and it's going to have and that's HTTP, and it's going to have a request, and that's a pointer to a request from package HTTP. And now I could just take this code here and copy that code and put it here. And I could get rid of all this stuff where I did declare a type and then attach the serve HTTP method to it using a receiver. And I could get rid of this, and that's it. And so when I use handlefunc, it wants this. It wants that. Okay, it wants a function with that signature. And so now I could run this, and same thing's going to happen. And so just so you know, there's nothing going on with cache there. Hello from Hot Diggity Dogger. All right, so that's handle and handler and handlefunc wanting a func with this signature. Okay, handlefunc wanting a func with that signature. The last little piece of the puzzle. So you just remember, handle takes a handler, HTTP handle takes a handler, and HTTP handlefunc takes a func with this signature. All right, with a response writer and a pointer to request as the parameters. The final piece that's good to know about is handlerfunc, and that could confuse people. So if we look for handlerfunc, okay, there's handlerfunc. We'll go back up here to this one. We have type handlerfunc. Type handlerfunc has the serve HTTP method, which makes it a handler. What is type handlerfunc? Type handlerfunc, it has as an underlying type a func with this signature. So if I wanted to, I could do this. Make this a handle, and I could do HTTP handlerfunc, and I could use conversion. And now, since this one, its type is this, which is that right there, I could convert it to a handlerfunc. And that when I convert it to a handlerfunc, when I convert it to that type, it has this method attached to it, which makes all of this a handler, and handle wants a handler. So this is just like a little convenience function. If you ever have something that needs a handler and you have a function with this signature, you could just convert it to this type, it turns it into a handler, and then you could use handle. And let's just verify that this works. Holy diggity dogger. All right, so that's a handler, and I'm gonna copy this one here. You see, I called it. We'll call this one handlerfunc. 03. And then we're going to turn this one back to the way it was. Like that. Just making sure that that's all square. So that's handle, which asks for a handler. Handlefunc, which asks for a function with this signature. And handlerfunc, which could take a function with this signature, like foo, and convert it to a handler. So those are handle, handler, handlefunc, and this func. Ooh, see, I need handlefunc there. And then handlerfunc, which it's a type that converts a value of this type with a function of this type to a handler. I hope that helps.